Hello, today I'm going to talk about how to use your FT software using Runmeet in athletic.net. So to do this demo, I'm going to be setting up a test meet, which I've already done there, and you can do this on your accounts as well. When you have if we go to the regular outdoor, so this is where your normal meets would be on your normal outdoor or indoor. And then you could click down here and do a test meet to do this yourself. So I already created one. So now this could be whatever meet that you are hosting or and responsible for. You're going to find that meet and you're going to click on the actual meet text. From here, we need to activate RunMeet. And this is after all of the events and athletes have been registered and the registration has been closed. So from here, you can either click this athletic run meet, or for me, I like to go through manage meet. And this for me just shows like if it's a dual or a try or whatever, you can see that entries actually have been input and they're closed. So if you, for whatever reason, see a school that has 0 entries, you can call them like, hey, you missed the deadline, and then they can do that for you before you activate RunMeet. But let's say everyone did what they need to do, which we can see here. We're going to then click RunMeet. We're going to click this green Start Now button. And now it's gathering all of your entries per event and syncing it to your meet management software in RunMeet. So we'll just wait for that. It takes just a minute or so. Now it'll take you through different settings that you want. So we have a 9-lane track, but you could leave it at 8 if you want. So I'm going to do it there. You're going to do heat assignment by seat time, fast to slow, FAT, and this auto import LIF files. You want to make sure this is on. These are the files that your FAT software creates, and you want it to auto import automatically when they finish, and you click save on your FAT software. That automatically goes to RunMeet. Your field settings, we're just going to kind of leave these, but you can adjust as needed. If you're using the iPad, using Athletic Live, you could be putting that on, but for today, we're going to leave that off. If you have different divisions, which you score differently, or show combined scores, I usually click everything except for the score each division differently. And then this is going to be a dual. And duels are usually the top 3 placers. Winner takes all. You just double check. If your league has something different, you can change them right here. Click next. Now, competitor numbers. If you are using Athletic Live, that feature, you have to make sure that you assign bib numbers. Now, this isn't that you have to print out those bib numbers for athletes. It just the system will be using those numbers for gathering data. But for right now, we're just going to leave that maybe later. Auto reseeding. Now this, if you toggle this on, that means when you have any scratches or adds the day of the meet, that it will auto reseed those heats and flights for you. So if you're scratching or adding people and you just want to plug them into a specific spot, takeaway add, then you're going to just leave that off. But if you want it to be correct in the right flight or heat, you're going to want to toggle that on. Today, we're going to toggle that on because we're going to pretend this is a high school meet. And then team position. This configuration is not like put this school in that lane, put that school in that lane or whatever. That's what I thought at first, but looking at it, it doesn't actually do that. So it's kind of a misconception. And then you're going to leave everything off unless you want some different breakpoints. From here, you're going to click done. It's going to take your settings and finalize them and then create your heats and flights. So here under this seating, you can see under track events, all of these, this shows that you have these stacks of papers. This is 1 flight with 6 athletes. If you go down to here, you have 2 flights, total of 15 athletes. So if I click the girls 100-meter varsity, you can see all these entries, and then what position they are, meaning what lane they're in, and then their seed time. So you can see the best ones are in here. Okay. Now, if I wanted to scratch somebody, let's say I'm going to scratch this because they're not here today. We're going to scratch them. It's auto reseeding and filling, and it'll even take from the last seat and put them in, so you make sure that your first flight is full. So it automatically does that for you. And this is in the seating tab. In the field, now in the field seating, that you can see the same thing where you have 32 flights with 16 people and those total. And all the way down, this is how many you want on the flight. We could have made them smaller, but they kind of divided up evenly. Same thing, if you were to scratch one, it would auto reseed and fill it in for you. So it's not blank, and it would just take it from there. Now, inputting results is a little bit different. So you still have the different toggles between track events and field. We're going to stay on field and results. So from here, if we take the boy shot put again and we drop that down, we can instantly start putting in marks. So I'll just kind of, and you'll kind of see it makes up what it's supposed to be when you write it in. So let's kind of fill these in just like so. Okay, I want to fill all these in so you can, whoop. Oh, I don't have my numlock on, that's right. There we go. Let's go. And 64, enter. And you can see that it automatically starts doing the placing for you. So if you need to revise this, it would automatically do that for you. And then after all marks have been entered, this is for any event, all marks have been entered, this mark complete kind of orange icon appears. This is telling you that this event has all of the marks inputted, but now you need to mark it as complete before you go to finalize and upload results. So when you click that, it goes green. So what you want is all of these little clipboards green, and then you know they're done. And it's going to be the same thing on the results to track. Now, since you'll be taking your FAT software and it will auto import, it'll do the same thing. It'll put in these times automatically, put in the place, and then you'll toggle that on as mark as complete. Now, if you were doing hand timing, you would just hand type right in the blank spot and then done. Okay. So in order to get this information over to the FAT software, and in this case, we're using the flash timing software. One last thing. We're going to talk about how to print off the heat sheets and flights. So if we go to this print icon of reports, you'll be talking about here from your Meet program, and you can set it up either this way, or you can go stacked and split the just whatever you want to include. I usually do everything off, and it looks like this. And this is from Athletic Meet. Okay, it does cut it off. It's not as clean as things like High Tech. For whatever reason, it cuts it off. I don't know why. It's just the way it's built, but I know their Run Me is getting better every day. So you can print this report. I don't really worry about the performance list as much. Now for your finish line sheets. On your finish line sheets, if you were doing hand times, you'd be printing all of these off. And the same thing, you'd be keeping those toggled off. Okay, if you want to be like super organized, which with each heat has a separate page, then you would separate by page. And then when you print each, these will be like breakpoints. Okay, and then empty lanes, if you care, like if you're like, especially in middle school, where you have a last second ad and you need to handwrite these things in, you can totally show the empty lanes. But if not, like for us, we're just gonna take that off. So then it's pretty clean, it takes up less paper, and I usually don't separate for each heat. And then when we print reports, you can do this as backup, or I have these reports and I only print off the non-lane assigned events. So like the 32 or 3000, the 1600, 800, anything that's not a assigned lane event where they can finish in any lane, I print off those sheets so you can give out like the popsicle sticks or card numbers, or and then my finish line people will mark them off in their place and then give this to the computer scores table to cross-reference the video to where they finished to know who's who. And that's kind of what we do. Okay, so how do we gather and take all this information for the track events and put it into the RunMeet? So first, right now I have two different computers with my setup, and I will show that here shortly. Now, in your files here, let's say you have the FAT software. We're going to go to videos because I'm on the capture, and you need to create a folder. So in this case today, it's going to be test for the videos to be captured and saved in. And you're going to do the same thing on your results computer. Okay, so here I'm under the flash timing folder. And how you can usually find this is if you just go straight to PC, here, get their flash timing files, videos, test, and it'd be the same thing if you're using the results, or if you're using all in the same, you'd create a test folder in that results folder. So from here, okay, that's created, good, done, minimize that. Now, in order for flash timing software to talk to RunMeet and pull this information, there's a third-party application that you'll need to download, and it's called RunMeet Local. RunMeet Local. So we're going to open this up. Okay, so right now I am on the review laptop. Okay, review, and I am in the flash timing results with my test folder, where all the results, everything that was in our test meet. Athletic Meet software, all these entries, they are going to be needing to be pulled and saved somewhere in order to be in flash timing. So there's this third-party app called RunMeet Local, and there's always doing updates, so always make sure that you have the latest version. You can just go into the help and search for RunMeet Local, and we're going to open this up. And this is a third-party app that takes the flash timing software and marries it to RunMeet Local to both pull your data so your entries, and then when you save, how to upload those results. So from here, it'll ask you to log in, and your meet, you'll have this drop down, and any meet that doesn't have RunMeet activated will not show up. We're going to refresh this. We're going to unclick don't hide test meet. So here's our meet that we have activated, RunMeet, and we're going to click on that. Both the start list and the results folder need to be the same results folder that you created in flash timing. So if we go long way around on this PC, results, and we're doing tests. So each meet will be a different folder. Do not have all your results, all your videos in one folder for the whole season, separated by each individual meet. So that's going to be test. We're going to do the same thing to make sure. There we go. And then after you see that these match, both the start list and here, you're going to make sure that's checked, the EBT file. You're going to click Listen Live. This is when it starts generating, gathering all this information in RunMeet, and then pulls it. And once you see these three things that starts, then you are good to go. Now, do not click stop or exit out of this program. You have to keep this open and running. You're going to just minimize it, and it will run in the background. So for example, if I want to make sure that this is working, and I open this, and let's say we have a last second change. It can be an addition or a scratch. I'm going to do a scratch because that's easier. If I scratch that, okay, I open up RunMeet Local, it now tells me that there has been a change made to that heat in that event. And then it updated that list for us. And that will do the same thing when we open up our FAT software. So flash timing, that is the next thing that we're going to open. Here's our FAT software in flash timing. Today, since I'm on the review computer, I'm going to open the review only, get this to open up. Now you're clicking permissions, and make sure everything can be shared. Yes, grant permissions. Make sure we're on a private network. I'll run through. Once you see success, close. Okay, now it's going to ask me for what meet we're doing, and we're going to try to discover or browse. Excuse me. It should have discover. I have usual issues that doesn't auto populate, so I'm just going to click browse. And what we're doing in this capture folder is we're trying to find the flash timing videos test folder, or in this case, it'd be whatever meet. Okay, so since we're doing test, for me, you're going to click drop down network. You're going to find your shared laptop. Okay, you click on that. You have this drop down. You're under the videos because you're pulling videos, and it's the test folder. Okay, and it changes. So that's where it's pulling that information. So as that race finishes, it will automatically upload to your FAT software that video. Next, since we're on the review laptop, this computer is used for scoring. Meet management is run athletic run meet. Track, select scoring folder. So this is going to be the same folder that your results are in. So we're going to try to find same thing. So it's going to be under this PC, okay, because you're on the review already. And if you get this confused, you could always just do the same way every single time. Make sure you're on the right laptop, review, or sorry, results, then test. Okay, and when you see this window pop up, success, perfect, you did everything right, everything is talking correctly because it's showing your events that are scheduled and ready to go. You're going to click OK. Okay, and we're going to hop back to the capture computer so I can show you how to make sure this gets turned on. So now that we finished setting up the review computer and getting RunMeet Local going, we're going to hop back onto the capture computer, which I am on now. We're going to click capture and review on the flash timing software. Okay, again, we're going to go through the same permissions. Yes, yes. Make sure we're shared, close. And then on the capture select folder, you're going to click test. You're going to browse. You're going to be going under this PC, finding your videos, flash timing videos folder, and within that folder, you're finding your meet. So you select whatever meet. In this case, we're doing a test. And then you'll see that the location file is right here, and you're going to click on folder discovery so other computers can find that as well. And you're going to click next. You're not using this for software or for scoring. Who's used or what software you're using for the scoring, and then number of lanes, all that good stuff. Now from here, you're going to make sure that you're going to find the same thing, the folder location. So this is correct. I'm going to walk you through. You're going to go now to network drop down. Okay, view laptop, flash timing results, and then test. Click OK. Now, if you have this meet management event list auto-populate and shows up, this is good news. You've done it correctly because these are all of your scheduled events. You're going to click OK and OK. But for right now, you can see, and if you right-click on an event, you can see what lanes are being taken and who's in what lane. If you have the FT display or scoreboard, you come up here to the 3 lines where it says capture. You're going to go to displays, and then you have all the different types of displays. So we have the display mobile, and if you click that, it will show up here, the name once it's turned on, ready to go, and then you'll click OK. And then it'll give you different check marks. I don't have the scoreboard with me right now, or the mobile display. You'll click off clock if you want that, entries the show, results, all that stuff, and then you have different options that you can pick from how many cycles, how many seconds, and all of that stuff. And then for us, for example, to show that, if we do a second monitor or window, okay, we're going to do detached window, okay, and this will automatically show up. So if you have like even another monitor or something or TV, that can work. So you can show clock, entries, or results. I'm going to click OK for right now. And then if I wanted to show these displays, I'm just going to click these 3 lines that are by the display entry for that event. If I minimize that, it'll show me what those people will be and what those teams will. It'll be the same thing on the result side on the review computer. So if you were to exit this out, okay, and we go back to those displays and we unclick entries, but then we do results, and this being on the results computer, once they click OK after review, it'll automatically be sent to that window that you just saw with the results. Okay, so once camera is ready, you'll see that, and you're going to make sure that this shows up. Now, there are some times where it takes a while to show up, and you just want to make sure that everything is plugged in correctly. If for whatever reason it's not showing up, you need to make sure that you dive into the manual, make sure the settings are, and that's when you would go into, if I close all these out, minimize them, this pylon viewer. Okay, and this is the main camera programming, and then that you can see all that this is showing up, information's correct. If it's still not showing up, then we need to go into the configurator, and then you would make sure that these IP addresses match what is in the manual, and you can always change these if necessary. So those are kind of just cross-reference some things, and if you need any more help with that, you can always call Sally at Flash Timing. Okay, so to finish up this video, I'm going to get to an external camera and show you kind of the setup. Okay, so I'm going to be showing you the setup for the laptops. On my left is the capture computer, on the right is the review computer, and I have labeled them accordingly. Now, a lot of computers do not have the Ethernet, so they have all the USB-C cords, so you just need to get an adapter that goes from USB-C to Ethernet, and then make sure it's a high quality one. If you have any questions on these, you can call Sally to make sure it has the right settings. And then I always label these so they can go into the same computer every single time, just because the chips that are in here, when you program it on your computer to be the right IP address, you want it to stay that way. So I leave all of this connected, and it's the same thing over here, and they have different versions. So this version you can see is a UNI version. They're both the same. I got everything the same, and then I have even a backup. Backup cords are great. And then same thing over here. I label each port. The first one is always going to be the camera. Okay, second one, capture, third one, review. And I label these so they get plugged in the same every single time, because again, technology is technology, and sometimes just IP addresses and different things get screwed up. So that all gets plugged into this. And then you can see the lights that it's reading. This is the only thing that really gets plugged in. Here's your radio. This is USB connection. Okay, and it goes to the capture computer, USB. Okay, this radio is what's talking to the starter radio. Okay, these talk. This comes with another mini. It's a little bit longer than this and has a 90. That is first, when you first get it, is plugged into here. You want to unscrew that, because that won't work for when you get to, especially like the 200 race. You will get this external antenna. It has a longer cord, and plug it in. And then it has a magnet on the back that you can stick up on high, because you want this above like your pop-up tent to really get that view. I've glued on a, I think it's 3/4 that fits like onto a camera or a light stand that I had lying around, and I just screw that on and then raise the pole so it's at max height from there. Now back on to this side of things, I'm going to turn on the radio, because right now we can see that, or the radio is on, but the starter device is not. So I'm just going to hold down. Okay, we're going to wait for that to wake up. The camera is ready. We're just waiting for it to find. So now this radio talked to the antenna, and now they're ready to go. Okay. Now, when you are starting your race, you want to make sure your starter is the one controlling this. You are never the one that's clicking ready on this side. And that's just because it will time out after a little bit, and you want the starter to say, hey, I'm ready for you now. So we're going to click this green button, and it's pretty instantaneous. And then you're going to either click, or the hotkey is R. Right now I'm just going to click ready. And then now after you get those two beeps and a solid green light, it is now ready for the starter. So whenever the gun goes off, so let's just, you'll hear that, and you'll see race is running, the time is going. And this is the camera that's over there plugged in. Okay, it's just the wall. So as soon as they're coming across pretty close, we're going to click capture. And there, they're crossing. I'm on the right event, and you can pause if it's like there's a big gap. Then for that, those are bookmarks. So if you want to help the reviewer kind of jump to the right area, as soon as they cross that line and close, as soon as you click the space bar, okay, it's going to start counting. So those are your spots, and I'll show you that in just a second. So we're going to click stop. Okay, we're going to make sure we're on the right event. So let's say you're even out of order. We can jump to and be like, oh, I was on that girl's 100 meter. Okay, and then you can even label it. It will pull up the label correctly. And then you'll click save. Now, if you're doing all of this on one laptop, I don't advise it. You'd be reviewing it yourself. And then you'll click save. Now, right after I click save, watch what happens. Oop, I save. Sorry, jumped the gun. You're making sure that you're still on the right because you set this up at the very beginning. And now you click save. So now I'm on the review computer. After I click save, that race automatically populates and shows up under my load video tab on the review computer. If I double click to open this up, you will see the video. This is where you can set your finish line. If you go at the very top, you can go back and forth, or if you drag down to there's different, it's hard to do this with one hand. The very, very top, okay, you can do the pitch, okay, back and forth, okay, just depending on, and then you can change that color of the line. It's down here if you choose. We usually just leave it on the red there. And then down below is your whole timeline of things. So even if it's important that you go through all this, especially if you're missing somebody. But you see these little red lines on this timeline? Those are the bookmarks. So you can jump to, and that would be your first person coming across. And then you have your list of athletes under the load athletes. Now, let's say if you're combined, especially in the longer distance races where sometimes you combine both boys and girls, you can be selecting multiple events. And when you do that, it's going to ask you what events you'll add to and then click OK. We're going to cancel since we're not doing that. I'm going to change this back to load athletes. Okay, and all those athletes that were in this event should be here. And once I click on their name, that time auto populates. So if I click over to the next bookmark, and I can just do this for all of them. Now, let's say you had some people scratch, didn't show up, whatever. You can right click and it'll automatically give you these options. Did not finish, scratch, whatever. And as soon as you save these times, okay, if we open up RunMeet Local again, you'll see that the results were pushed to the database as the LIF folder. So if we open up RunMeet, and that was the, we'll go to results, and we'll find that event. What event was it? It was the 1500 meter, 1500 meters. Okay, you'll see that there's results there. You click the drop down, and it's underlined in purple on FAT. Now it doesn't have that orange Mark Complete clipboard because not all results are in. So if you don't do that on the review side, you're just going to have to put them in manually. And now, once that's all done, now you have this mark as complete. Okay. Hopefully that helps you set up your track and field meet using Runmeet and Flash timing software.